All right, welcome back, COSA 1 folks. Professor Almeida here. Happy Wednesday evening. Now, normally I tend to put these announcement videos out on Thursdays, but unfortunately something came up. I can't reschedule it. So that's why I'm recording this video on Wednesday evening. Now, this also means I'm not going to be in the Canvas course chat tomorrow. I'm usually there Thursdays from 9 until noon Pacific time, but just this week, I'm not going to be there. You can always message me in the Canvas inbox if you have questions, and I'll do my best to respond to you. You can also reach out to COS Tech Support, and we'll talk more about getting support in this class later on in this video. Coming up, I want to talk about week 2, which is already open and available to you. If you haven't had a chance to settle in, please make sure you do that soon, because Friday will be here before you know it, and your first set of assignments will be due. And with that, let's go ahead and take a look here in Canvas. So let me get this going here. All right. So first things first, let's make sure that you can find our COSA 1 class in your Canvas dashboard. You can see I have both sections for my Monday, Wednesday, 8 a.m. and my online folks. If your Canvas dashboard looks something like this, it's kind of hard to follow along here. Switch over to card view, and that way you can find your classes, especially ours here. And again, hopefully you've had a chance to get started by reading the syllabus, taking the due dates, plugging them into your calendar, registering with SimNet, and also introducing yourself. Be sure to go into the announcements, check out this one here, welcome, what to expect for your first week, and watch the video I provided here on how to get settled in. So you do have 3 assignments due this week: your Windows 11 training, your Office Essential Skills training, and then finally your Windows and Essential Skills quiz. I went over how to do the training sims in the first week's video. My Monday, Wednesday folks have seen Windows 11 and Office Essential Skills. These 2 training sims right here are a participation requirement. That means everyone enrolled in the COSA 1 class needs to turn in those 2 training sims. That way I can be sure that you really want to be in the class and that you've also registered with SimNet. If you don't turn in the 2 training sims on time, I'm going to assume that you're no longer interested, and unfortunately I will be dropping you from the class as a no-show or non-attending. By the way, with these training sims, you can think of them as participation. They must be turned in on time. You cannot go back for late credit, so don't leave these easy points on the table. So that's the training sims. Now, you also have a quiz that goes along with your Windows 11 and Office Essential Skills training sims. Let me show you the quiz real quick here, because there's a couple of things that I want to make you aware of. So let's look at the quiz here. And you can see that you have 10 questions. You do get 2 attempts at the quiz. Don't start the quiz until you've blocked out enough time where you can sit down and answer the 10 questions. So you can see here, complete by the end of the course. Ignore this date because that is the last day of the course. The quiz is due Friday. Now, I will accept the quiz up until the last day of the course. It'll just be docked 10%. There's no time limit on the quiz. You do get 3 attempts at each simulation question. Very similar to Let Me Try, except you can't get hints and you can't just click on whatever you want. And you get 1 attempt at non-simulation questions. So those are your multiple choice, true, false, yes, no responses. And by the way, this quiz is open book, open note, open web, Google it, whatever you want to do. By checking this box, you agree to the terms. You must complete this exam attempt in 1 sitting. If you exit or leave, it'll automatically be submitted. So let me show you real quick here. So this is a typical simulation-based question where here they ask you to turn on the autosave feature. So you basically go through, you can see you have 3 attempts for the simulation questions. If you want to get a bird's eye overview, you can toggle the question list. And I don't have any non-sim questions here. So after your 10th question, if you keep hitting the right arrow, you're going to keep cycling back through. So if you want to know if you've answered all 10 questions, go back, look at this overview here, and you'll see check marks or X's depending on how you used up your attempts. And once you've hit the 10 questions, you can go ahead and submit for a score. Now be careful, don't reload the page or hit the back button, because if you do, you will lose your attempt, and I'm not going to reset any lost attempts. So consider yourself warned there. So again, all 3 assignments here in the first week are due this Friday. All right, onward, week 2. Week 2 is already open and available to you. So starting on Monday, April 14th, we're going to be spending 2 weeks with Microsoft Word. Be sure to take a look at the overview page here. I've also provided walkthrough videos on how to do both skill review projects. So Monday, Wednesday, folks, when you come to class, we're going to do skill review 1.1 together in class. Make sure you come to class on time. If you're coming in 20, 30 minutes late, it will be very hard to catch up and see what we're doing. And then in your downtime, you're going to work on your Chapter 1 training. Wednesday, we'll get into Chapter 2, and same thing, you'll have your skill review, and then in your downtime, you have your training and your quiz. Online, folks, you just basically go through and knock out the assignments. Remember, with the online class, we don't have scheduled class meetings, so you want to make sure you block out some time where you can complete the weekly assigned material. And then last thing here is the success check-in. By the end of the second week, especially if you're using the 14-day courtesy access, by the end of the second week, I'm going to expect that you all purchase access to SimNet. Now, you can either do that directly in SimNet for about $50 plus tax, or you can go to the LBCC bookstore. Either way, check in with me. Let me know that you have access to the materials. And by doing so, you will unlock week 3 when Monday, April 21st comes around. Now, if you don't check in with me, week 3 is going to stay grayed out until you view the success check-in. And again, by week 3, I'm going to expect that you have paid access to SimNet. Again, you can purchase access directly for $50 plus tax, or you can go to the bookstore, check out that video from the first week on how to get started, so you can see how to purchase in SimNet. I went over all that in there. Before I end this video, let's talk about campus resources. This can be found on the campus resources page in your welcome module, or on the second page of the syllabus. If you need to reach out for support, you can do that through COS Tech Support. Here are the hours to the computer labs in M229 and AA206. Scroll further down this page, you'll see how to contact our instructional assistants. If you need to get help with LBCC technology, this includes getting locked out of the Viking portal, or maybe you need help with installing Microsoft 365. Here is how to contact the Student Tech Help Desk. Here are their hours. They do have a kiosk on the second floor of the library. And speaking of Microsoft 365, if you're working from home, you will need access to a Windows PC with Microsoft 365 installed. As you can see here, I have Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. To install Microsoft 365, go to your Viking portal. You should see a button for Microsoft 365. This is the Microsoft 365 Copilot dashboard. To the right, toward the top, you'll see Install and More. Choose Install Microsoft 365 Apps. From there, install Office. You'll see the downloader, or the installer download. Sorry, it's Wednesday evening, folks. You'll see the installer download. Double click on the installer and follow steps to complete installation. And again, if you need help with installing Microsoft 365, reach out to the Student Tech Help Desk. Now, if you are in the online COSA 1 class, be sure to check out these resources, including the Quest for Online Student Success. And then lastly, if you need to get tutoring for this class, that is through the MDSC. Be sure to read through their policies and procedures and then take a look at the schedule here. Don't wait until the last minute, especially if you are still working on Windows 11 and Office Essential Skills. Don't wait until Friday to seek out help. I don't wait by my computer on Friday nights, so plan ahead, anticipate issues. Remember that computer work is always going to take longer than you think it will. And with that, enjoy the rest of your week. Take care of yourselves out there, and I will see you for week 2. Thanks for watching.